Hey, welcome to Fantasy Football G. I'm your man Kat, and today we are going to take a look at the AI's Wildcard Draft from Fantasy Football Hub and see how it compares to my team right now, as well as I guess yours, so you can see that as well. But we also really want to talk about which are the best attacking assets as I've covered the defensive assets as well. So I'm going to do this using the Fantasy Football Hub tool so that you guys can actually see um, how I actually use it. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right. Let's just get to it, guys. This is the last week for you to get your 50% off the yearly plan from Fantasy Football Hub. So make sure you do that. The link is in the description below. Check it out. T's and C's do apply because they have a very great offer where if you don't win your mini league, then they can give you all of your money back. So T's and C's apply. Go and check it out, guys. Link is in the description below. Now, I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm going to practice what I preach. So let me hop onto it and show you guys exactly how I use the Fantasy Football Hub AI. All right, cool. I should start on a different screen. Okay, cool. Let's firstly start over here. Let's go to the toolbox. And these are the amazing tools that they basically have. And where I want to go with you guys, so you guys can check out you can check out your team, you can check out Opta stats, which is where we're gonna go. Points predicted, we'll hop in there a little bit. You can check out the fixture ticker where you can actually say for how long you want to look at it. You want to look at defense, you want to look at attack, you want to look at clean sheets, price changes as well. You can also check that out, which is really dope. And then you can also do some player comparisons, which is absolutely amazing. Trust me, especially when you're trying to decide, am I going to go for a Calvert-Lewin or a Vardy, a Jamie Vardy? So, and then you've also got player profiles if you want to take a closer look at players. Got touch maps as well, heat maps as well, which is absolutely great. Ben Cullen's FPL calendar is absolutely amazing, where you can actually just have a full scope of the actual FPL, and you can also edit it yourself as well. And he has a very great tutorial there on that. And then you can sort of like book your transfers in, of course, be flexible as usual, but it's a very nice thing to have as well. Yeah, and really that's the same with Josie's as well, Ben Cullen. And then you have the match center, which is nice because also as well as live rank, you can keep up to date with all the FPL scores and live at the same time. So everything gets updated live during your FPL week. So let's go to the Opta stats here, which is where I want to go, and we want to talk about the best attacking assets. Now, I think we have to start off with, let's just change this to teams, and let's leave it from game week 1 to 5. We'll say home and away as well. And let's see what key stats we want to look at. Now, I think let's start off with goal threat, right? We're 5 games in, and here's the beauty that I love. All right, from over here, we got shots. Okay, you can click here, and you can actually assort it there by whatever you want in this here. So let's just go through it here, because what I want to assort it by is XG, right? So we got shots basically here. We got shots on target, shots inside the box, shots outside the box. We got big chances created. We've got headed attempts, non-penalty XG, and we got XG. Then of course we got the goals. We got goals inside the box, outside the box, and we got goals by headers. So we want to see exactly who is, who's scoring. How they're scoring, how many goals are they scoring as well. So you can see here Man City's had the most shots, of course, really pumped up at that previous Arsenal game. But regardless of that, they've got the highest XG, right? And I think that XG was pumped up, as I mentioned, by Arsenal's game. As much as those shots were low quality, because they were really coming from outside, I think even before this, they were like number 2 behind Liverpool. So I would still put Liverpool first. As you can see, their XG is very close there as well. But what I love to pay attention to really is when I'm looking at like who to take a punt on, I'll look at, okay, cool, which team is really out there shooting? How many are they getting inside in the box? what are the big chances? How many big chances are they also creating as well? So for me, like those are what's really key. And just comparing, like, okay, cool. Out of those shots, how many are in the box, how many are out the box, and how many are really on target? And it tells you really the quality of the shots that you're also getting. So how many they're also converting as well as also something really big. So I think we can deduce here that when it comes to XG, this is the proper top four, top five. And that's really what I wanted to see. Who are the top four, top five teams really that are actually with a high good XG? And you can see it's Man City first, Liverpool, Man United, Spurs, and then there's Bournemouth as well. And that's very interesting thinking about who are the best attacking assets, because Bournemouth had some very great fixtures, and I think Semenyo's been somebody on all of our minds. So he's definitely in my team, of course, and I know in a lot of wildcard teams. In fact, you could say he's somewhat of a template player, and rightfully so. I mean, he's someone who's racked up one of the most highest shots attempted in the league. So it's clear, obvious that you should have him as well. Wouldn't say it's so much as a talisman, but he's a highly influential player in that team as well. As you saw against Liverpool, almost had a goal disallowed, and it's very close. Honesty, very very close. So that's someone to consider here. Solanke here from Spurs is a great person to talk about. I just feel like there isn't anybody else. I had a Brendan Johnson who scored recently, both in the cup, and the Carabao Cup, and in the recent thingy. So maybe he's picking up on form, but I just feel like he hasn't been that involved. And I feel like he's not an asset you can really pay attention to. Maybe I'm saying that because I've been burnt by him, but because of his recent form, he is someone to keep an eye on. Solanke is a definite for me, just because, I mean, think about it, man. He came from a Bournemouth. He's gone to a Spurs team where he should be getting a lot more chances. So I think that, him opening his goal scoring account is big. It's really big. And you want to catch him from the beginning. And their fixtures also turn, I think, game week 8. So keep an eye on that as well. But that's definitely someone that you should be considering putting on your wild card. Man United is a bit of a touchy subject. There's players that there's FPL managers that want to keep Bruno. They fixtures as well also turn around about game week 8 as well. I think Bruno's just been unlucky, and I say this because I think when the fixtures turn around, I myself right now will be watching him to see necessarily and really determine, is it really unlucky, or is it that he's really just not performing, because it can only be unlucky for a certain game or 2 games. But if it's like 5 games consecutively, I think his only return has been an assist. So you start to border on the fact that he's actually not performing. So I think he's somebody they have to monitor. And there isn't anybody else there in the Man United really when it comes to the attack that's popping out to us. Can't say we'd go for Ahmad. I think he's at 5.0. He's rightfully giving you what a 5.0 asset would. Garnacho is just not a locked in. Xerxes hasn't necessarily, for me, blown me away. He's got a goal. I'm not sure if he's got an assist as well. Højlund just came back, but we all know what his performance was like last season. Maybe things will change now, so not necessarily anything that I'd go crazy about. Liverpool have a lot of assets. A lot of people are going crazy on DS right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he rises to 8.0. I think he was sitting on 7.9. He's risen so far from 7.5. The thing for me with DS is we can't ignore Gakpo, guys. Just after the break, Slot was saying how he was actually planning to play Gakpo. Sorry, I just want to pause something quickly. Yeah, as I was mentioning, we can't ignore Gakpo. Gakpo he was given high praise, honestly, just after the international break. And Slot said, hey, listen, man, I would have played this guy if, he hadn't played in the international break. So you start to then, for me, that's where the doubt comes in. And I want to give it these next 2 games. I think this last game for me, it's Wolves, and then their fixtures actually start to turn. So I want to see what it's like, but no doubt Diaz has been performing. I just feel like fine. I think if you've had him, you should have been keeping him. But if you didn't have him, I wouldn't have jumped on him. But a lot of people have. That is just my verdict. But yeah. Now, Man City, I think I said this yesterday. I said this yesterday. Their attack for me now is a lot more important than their defense, because already Man City have been leaky, right? Without Rodri, but now with Rodri really not being in the picture, I think they're really going to be leaky. So when it comes to which assets I'd have from where, I would have my defensive assets in from Arsenal, and I'd have my attacking assets from Man City. Now, which three would I have for me? And I'm going to rank them nicely for you. Haaland, number one, no doubt. Number two, surprisingly, Bernardo Silva, because of his minutes. This man has been clocking the minutes all the time. And I know he's not the greatest SPL asset, but the mere fact that you have those minutes, he's also there contributing, and he's playing central, he's playing wide as well. He's pretty much all over the show. And I think that's what's also great about him in terms of his flexibility, and he's been able to contribute to the team at any point in any place, really. So I would be willing to get him in rather than a person like, for example, Doku, who's a great player. Even Savio, who's been clocking a lot of minutes. He just had a recent assist as well. But because he's new, I think Savio, you're just not sure, and because Phil Foden's also back, and you also have someone like Bernardo Silva now, you don't know what's really going to happen. Is Phil Foden going to come in the middle, and then they move Bernardo to the right, like what happened in the Arsenal game? And so that does a lot to Savio's minutes, and this is why I'm saying Bernardo's better, because even when you have a Foden, Bernardo's not being pushed out of the team just so that he can play central. Bernardo's pushed to the side. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes Foden will be pushed to the side. So for me, Bernardo's second. Third place, I have to tie it between KDB and Foden, because if KDB's fit, it's KDB. But him having a groin injury, I feel like Foden, because he's also been rested, I think that he's going to be coming in a lot more now and having a lot more minutes. So that's where that really is coming from. Honorable mentions to Doku and Savio. Savio's been clocking a lot more minutes. Grealish has been coming in. So it's sort of 50-50 right now with Doku. You're not necessarily sure what's happening there. Gundogan as well. Now with Rodri out now, we're assuming that he's going to be playing a lot more. So is he necessarily going to be the best guy to really have to bring in? I'm really not so sure. I don't know how it's going to move, because there's Kovacic as well. There's Rico Lewis to be coming in and inverting. So on that department, I'm not necessarily sure. And that's the thing about City's Pep Roulette, and that's why for me I'd stick to those top three. Haaland number one, number two Bernardo Silva, number three tie at KDB and Foden based on those circumstances. If KDB is fit, KDB, but if he's not, you go with Foden. So yeah, man, that's very much how I'd look at it right now. And let's go take a look at the points prediction. That's another great tool for you guys as well. So what we can do here is we can actually say mids and we can say forwards, and then we can look at the game week range and say, okay, cool. Let's go to the next fixture swing, which is game week 12. Although that's a bit too far. So let's just do it to game week 10. And then let's say price range. Yeah. So now already here you can see, okay, cool. These are the guys who are predicted to score the highest points. And what I love about this is you can see their price, you can see their ownership, and you can see their stats as well. You can see what they're predicted to score along these along here as well. So of course Mo Salah, Saka, these basically are like the big guys. So let's move along and let's go a bit down beyond the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we start to see Eze creep in. So let's talk a little bit about Eze. For me, I've lost faith in Eze. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, their fixtures have been medium and their team just hasn't gelled yet. They got a really good team, in my opinion. Still good. And probably even better than last season, considering the additions as well. So I just don't know. They just haven't gelled. And I think for me, I took Eze out, and you saw that miss that he had in the game as well against Man United. Beautiful layoff, and he shot it straight to the guy, or what? Either way, um, for me that was just like the nail in the coffin. Like, nah, bro, nah, I'm sorry, you out, bro. He's getting all these chances, but just like Bruno, he's not clinical. And at 6.9, so 7, you could be going for an Embuemo guy. You could really be going for an Embuemo. So for me, that's just my verdict on him. I just feel like this the money could be spent better elsewhere. His fixtures, he's got Everton now, Liverpool next, and then Nottingham Forest and Tottenham. So he's got, out of the four, he's got one good fixture, and it's away. And watch him not deliver in that good fixture, which is just irritating for me. So yeah, Isak, I don't think there's really much to talk about. You have Watkins and Woods. Woods is definitely a player, I think, who's, especially his team, proving somebody a team to to be one that's really good and strengthened. Him having taken that penalty as well, I think has really convinced a lot of us. So Wood, for me, I think in my wild card would definitely make it, and I'll make a wild card team in my next video for you guys as well. But we're still going to take a look at the wild card team of the AI, and yeah, Wood for me is the striker that definitely would make it. Watkins, I'm not so sure because their fixtures do sort of turn, but he hasn't been the prolific scorer that we needed him to be, or he was like last season. Durant been coming in and doing the business, and he's been making a lot of uncertainty when it comes to whether or not we should be having Ollie Watkins. Also considering the fixture congestion. So Ollie's been clocking high minutes now. Yeah, let's just keep monitoring him. But like I said, his fixtures are turning. He's got Ipswich now, the Man United at home. Still a good fixture considering their team strength. And they got Fulham, Bournemouth away, Tottenham. It's in between. So I don't know, man. He's had his good fixtures, and he just didn't perform in them. So now with his fixtures turning, it's like, will he perform? Wouldn't be surprised if he does, because that's FPL for you. So yeah, let's see if we load more. I think we'll just load a little bit more, and then we go to Embuemo. Now, for me, Embuemo's a definite for me. His fixtures are looking good for a while, so I don't think that's something I really need to talk about. I think just get him. He's a good price. He's been rising at the same time. Ownership still surprisingly low at 14.8. If I were you guys, I would definitely get him. It's not playing any European and stuff like that. So yeah, Kai Havertz, if you are looking for the best attack in Arsenal, take it from Arsenal, man. Only two guys, Saka, Kai Havertz. That's it. End of discussion. All right, I'm going to move on from there. Spoken about Kevin De Bruyne. Don't want to talk about Anthony Gordon because we're not really looking at him. We're not going to put him in the wild card. Bruno, spoken about him. Nicholas Jackson, I do want to mention that, guys, their fixtures are not looking good at all. I don't understand why people are already jumping and hopping onto him. Even as a striker, they're playing Brighton, and they're playing Nottingham Forest, and they're playing Liverpool, and they're playing Newcastle, and they're playing Man United, and playing Arsenal. Bro, these next great fixtures in like game week 12. Like, I get the knee jerk, guys, but look at the fixtures, look at the data and everything, and trust me, you'll be able to see it. I think I'm going to end it off at João Pedro, because him having come back, yes, we all know he's a vital player, and we think that he's always going to be playing, which I also do think. Ferguson is back now, but I think even with Ferguson back, he's still short in for minutes, and will be on penalties as well, because he plays in that 10 role. Despite Rota as well, I feel like Rota hasn't necessarily sparked anything. So I think João Pedro is still a keeper, but whether or not he should be in a wild card, nah. My front three for me, if I was wild carding this game week, just to spoiler maybe for next week, it would be Wood, it would be Solanke, and it would be Haaland. Those would be my front three. Yeah, those would be my front three. Just because I feel like, Brighton's fixtures aren't necessarily the greatest right now. Chelsea, Tottenham, Newcastle, then they have a Wood, then they have a Wolves in the middle of a Liverpool, Man City. Like, nah, just not worth it. So yeah, let's take a look at the AI wildcard team, the moment that you guys have actually all been waiting for. Now, what I really love about this, is you can see a free hit team over here, and then you can also see a wildcard team. But while you look at the team, you can also actually see, I've just changed to the wildcard team. Now, while you look at the wildcard team, you can actually see your comparison over here. So it shows you the dotted line is my team and the solid line is the AI team. So the AI has a better front line than I do, and overall points predicted, they also have better points predicted. But I am better in defense, which is essentially what I wanted to do, and you can see both in the goalkeeping department and in the defense in itself there. But they do have the edge over me in the midfield. So let's take a look at who their team players are. So in goals, they've got Flecken with Fabianski. So they've clearly saved their money up there, not going for Rhea. In the defense, they've got the Gabriel and they've got Saliba, just like I do, doubling up on Arsenal as well. Obvious move. Then they've gone for Robertson, and I think it's the same thing that I mentioned about, you've got a Trent at 7 million, man, and you got somebody who could do it for cheaper. You know, he hasn't necessarily been out there game in, game out, assisting, so you might as well just, like, I had Konate last game who assisted, and I think, yeah, fine, Trent is also better for BPS, bonus point system, so he's definitely someone that you can go for, excuse me. But if you want to save money, Robertson honestly is fine. For me, I just went for Van Dijk because I feel like there's an assurity of minutes there. I feel like, yeah, Robertson could get an injury almost any time, really. But yeah, that's just me. That's the defense there, and then you can see they got two 4.5s there with the 2.4.0s there with FaZe and Greaves as well. So they really packed in into their starting 11. Midfield there, they got Saka, who's really got some great fixtures going on, and I think a great supplement, honestly, for Mo Salah. 2.5, 2.8, I think now cheaper. So honestly worth it, as well as a Palmer there as well. I wouldn't go for Palmer. You know me, I just want to stay away from Chelsea. They're just not showing me where they're going. Are they moving up? Are they progressing? Where are they? They're just up and down. And if it's like that, you can't predict. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to predict when these guys are actually going to be performing. So they're playing Brighton, Nottingham Forest, and Liverpool. Fixtures don't look good for me. But Palmer, I would say, is fixture proof. So if you want to go there, you can go there. Eze, spoken about him. Yeah, just not sure about this. But hey, this is the AI's wildcard team, and I think we need to also, does it show their team rating? I wouldn't be surprised if their team rating is 99. That's the AI for you. And then you got Semenyo there, who's got great fixtures. We spoke about him as well, that he's a must with these great fixtures in, and the mere fact that how influential he is in his team as well. Then close to what I had in my strike force, but they've gone for a Haaland, a Wood, and a João Pedro, which I understand. Solanke is a pricey person, a pricey striker, so I totally understand why they would go for João Pedro there to save the money. And you can see already that I don't think the team value here is necessarily high, considering they got two 4.0s on the bench there. And I think the money is really stuck in the Palmer. So I would use Palmer out, and I'll get Solanke and maybe another Man City player there as well. Yeah, that would just be me. And then you got Rodgers on the bench there, first bench. I think he's fine. I think he's a good first bench. Fixtures are turning. Gave me a nice welcome present first time I owned him. So yeah, that was really nice. But really happy that Rodgers helped me out. Honestly, that extra bonus point that he got awarded. I'm sure you were all happy. Yeah, man. But that's the AI's team. Let me know what you guys think in the description below. Remember as well that the hub is having 50% off, and this is the last week. So use the link in the description below to actually go and get that and help you with actually, deciding what are the best key assets to use for your actual team. And what you can do if you want to as well is you can just get it for 1 month. Get it for this month, this wildcard side, that's wildcard time. And then, yeah, done. But if you really want to have it for the rest of your season, which I think is more, which is a better deal because you'll get that 50% off of the year deal, then go for it. And again, remember, like I said, they'll give you all your money back if you don't win your mini league. T's and C's apply, and that is below in the description below. But yeah, that's me. If you want to check out my best defensive assets, then you need to go and check out this video right over here. Trust me, it's got the best defensive assets, and I use the hub, fancy football hub as well too. I just use my own graphics over there, so check that out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.